What up, family? All right, let me tell you guys a story that you're not going to hear often. And it's actually a story that reigns really true within my life as well. It ain't about the come up. It ain't about being broke. It's about being wealthy, yet still terrified of money. See, not every man struggles to make it. Some of us struggle to keep it. Not keep it in our accounts, but in our minds. This is a story of my guy Brandon. 7 figures deep, more assets that he can count, multiple businesses, everything that he dreamed of as a kid, he touched it. The house, the cars, the peace. On paper, he got it. But on the inside, he was still that 10-year-old kid watching his dad count gas money on the kitchen counter. Stay locked in for this one, because Brandon's story might just explain your anxiety around money, even if you're doing well. Now, Brandon, the brother didn't grow up poor, but his father did. Real poverty. 1 pair of shoes, mismatched government cheese, powdered eggs. You know the drill. But his pops wasn't a victim to that poverty, because he leveled up, eventually getting a solid job, and that job turned into a career, and that career eventually moved the family that he created to the suburbs. But although he moved, his scarcity mindset came with him. Now, Brandon's childhood was full of phrases just like these. Turn off the lights. Electricity ain't free. That's too expensive. Put that back. Would you think money grow on trees? You better save that, because you never know what's going to happen. So what did Brandon learn from that? That success is temporary. Money, it could evaporate or disappear at any time. You can't trust being abundant. Even though Brandon never went without, he never struggled, there was always food on the table. He was raised like the struggle was always right around the corner. And that type of mindset is stuck deeper than he realized. Now, in Brandon's story, we're gonna jump ahead a lot. Now he's 36 years old, founder of a thriving digital marketing agency. Net worth in the millions of dollars. Investments, real estates, real passive income. No debt, no kids, and no excuses. But even with all of that, he panicked over $500 dinners. Now, I know what you're saying. What dinner needs to cost $500? And I completely understand, but that's not the point. There is no reason that a man that's pulling in $60,000 a month should panic over $500 dinners. He triple-check receipts. He'd get anxious before vacations. He'd argue with himself about, should I upgrade? Flights, technology, clothes, things that he could very easily afford. He once canceled a speaking gig in New York because he didn't want to drop $1,600 on flights and hotels. A competitor of his picked up the gig in his absence and ended up landing a new $25,000 a month retainer client. But all Eric could think about is, why would anybody want to pay $1,600 on a flight and hotel? But Eric couldn't see the opportunity. All he saw was the risk. And that's not intelligence. That's trauma dressed up like strategy. Now, this lack mindset or this scarcity mindset didn't just impact him within the workplace. It was also within his relationships. He was dating a lovely young lady by the name of Ashley. Corporate, but in a good way. Classy, down to earth. She wasn't in it for his money. She was one of the good ones who was in it for him. But his anxiety around money bled into the relationship. He'd say no to date nights because who would want to go out to eat when you can eat cheaper in? He would refuse spending basic quality time with her because he felt like if he stopped working, he'd lose everything. Then the final straw was when she suggested that they take a trip, just some time to get away. He flipped the script on her and said, "You just want to spend money all of the damn time, and that's not smart right now." But the truth is, she wasn't asking for a lot. She damn sure wasn't asking for luxury. She just wanted to spend time with him. More time than what his scarce thinking would allow. She was asking for intentionality. She was asking for times to be joyful with him. And eventually she says something that rocked him. "You're so afraid of losing everything. You don't realize you're already losing me, she said. And just like that, she was gone. And Eric, the man with multiple income streams, all of this money coming in where he should have been abundant, was left with one thing: silence. Now one night, Eric sat alone in his condo, 2-figure couch that he bought used from Craigslist with a 3-figure-a-month view, and he felt broke, and not financially, obviously, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And as he doom scrolled on social media, he came across a quote that said, "You're not protecting your money, you're protecting your wound." And that hit him in the chest, because the truth finally clicked. He wasn't scared of being broke. He was scared of not knowing how to live without fear. So what did Eric do in order to rewrite this scarce thinking or this scarce mindset that plagued him ever since childhood? Number one, he reframed his identity. He stopped saying things like, "I'm frugal, I'm cheap," and he started saying things like, "I am a wise steward of wealth. I don't fear loss. I prepare for growth." He wrote it down. He spoke it daily. He changed his language, which was the beginning to change his life. Number two, he created a no permission spending rule. Any expense under $1,500 that aligned with joy, growth, connection. He didn't overthink it. Dinner night with friends? Let's go. That course that'll elevate his leadership? Let's buy it. That weekend trip that'll build memories? Let's book it. He stopped micromanaging joy. Thirdly, he reinvested with strategy, not scarcity. He hired a full-time operations manager, brought on a sales consultant to the team, outsourced what drained him. What's funny is the cost to hire all of these people he never would have considered before, and instead took on the brunt of task. What his scarce thinking didn't allow him to realize is how much more output his business can get done with these new resources. So as his time requirement to the business went down, the revenue of the business doubled in just 10 months, just from him trusting himself to spend, to scale. And lastly, he joined the MT Army community. This was the game changer. Real men, real conversations, no flex, no fluff, just builders, leaders, fathers, brothers, reprogramming their minds for the better. Eric saw himself in other men, the quiet panic, the performance mask, the men who had it all, but still sometimes felt empty. He realized that he wasn't alone, and that there's others suffering through this as well. He realized that success doesn't protect you from pain, but community helps you process it. All right, but that's Eric's story. And listen, the G's in the MT Army community will let you know I actually just talked through my issue in dealing with scarce thinking and mindset as well. I grew up in a single parent household and my dad was a school teacher. And I didn't realize within my own business that essentially I have created myself in being a worker that actually had me way more busy than when I used to work in corporate America, locking myself within a mental prison, getting burnout, because of a scarcity mindset that benefited me within my younger years, but no longer had a place. And it impacted business, it impacted relationships, and identifying that this was a problem was the first step in solving it. Fellas, you must understand that scarce thinking cannot live where truth lives. You can have that bag, the credit, the assets, but if your subconscious still thinks that you're one bill away from collapse, then you'll still be moving like you're broke. But when you decide to heal, when you step into abundance thinking, you stop reacting. You start choosing. And the moment you surround yourself with real men doing the work, like inside of the MT Army, everything changes. Because inside this brotherhood, we don't just talk about money. We talk about the man managing it. Now, my guy Eric, he didn't just heal his money mindset. He found peace. And from that peace, he made decisions that multiplied his life, not just his income. So if you're watching this and you know you've been living in fear, if you feel that knot in your stomach when you spend, if you're tired of winning on the outside but worrying on the inside, then let this be your wake-up call. Join the MT Army and keep building. But this time, you're gonna build without fear. Link to it down in the description box down below. I'm out.